Restore is your one-stop shop for all of your modern-day wellness and recovery needs. We believe in a multi-solution approach to wellness. That's why we offer different modalities such as IV drip therapy, NAD therapy, cryotherapy, red light therapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and numerous others. Our services help our customers enhance athletic performance, boost mental and physical health, as well as aid in recovery at an affordable price. Whether you are an extreme athlete or just somebody who wants to feel better, we provide wellness services to help you meet your health goals. We make the world's most cutting-edge wellness services available at 225 locations nationwide. Taking charge of your health and wellness has never been simpler or more convenient.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another NFM podcast coming to you from the Game Day Men's Health Studio. I am your happy host here today, Terry Barga. Happy to be with you, and I'm joined today with a special co-host,
Ben Monette, who's a personal trainer and a executive coach and consultant.
And up until a minute ago, this is your first podcast co-hosting gig.
It is.
And you nailed it. Your first sentence.
Crushed it.
Can
I quit now? Am I done?
We're off and running.
Off and running. I'm done.
Oh, man. Ben, what's going on in your life, man? How you been? You've been on this podcast
we have,
as a guest before. Mm-hmm. What's it feel like on this side of the mic?
Oh, a lot less pressure.
Really?
To be honest with you. Yeah, just sitting here enjoying the conversation. So it'll be good.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. And we're joined today by a special guest, Joe Watson. How we doing?
Great. Yeah. I'm glad to have the sun back in Nashville. I'm tired of the bipolarness, so we're on the mend of it.
So you think it's over? Interesting.
Well, it's not over. But the sun for like a day or two, I'm here for it.
I don't know if we're in second spring, first spring, or prequel. I don't know where we're at.
No.
But what'd the groundhog do?
Oh, we had more.
Yeah, we said more winter.
Yeah, we got more.
But that was. Is that not up, or we'll be up in 2 weeks? I don't even know how that goes. Stupid groundhog. Yeah. Moving on, we're going to get into a basket of debate. And Joe, this is an infamous basket that has been everywhere and back again. It is our icebreaker. It is a lot of fun. And today it's brought to you by, we got to show it, Black Rifle Energy, which is right there in Ben's hand. And that is now the new official energy drink of the Nashville Fit magazine. So here you go, peeps.
It's delicious. I love it. It's great.
Some of that. We're also thankful for Restore Hyper Wellness and Connection Chiropractic. We appreciate you all's support. Guys, make sure you check out our sponsors. They're in the bottom in the show notes. So click on those links, give them a follow, tell them how much you enjoyed the show. All right. Commercial over. Take one, pass it around.
Let's do it.
And I realized I just handed it off and didn't take one myself.
Let me reach over here.
I wanted to make Ben work a little extra hard. All right. I like you guys are pre-reading. What do we got? Who wants to go first?
Okay. This one says, on the count of three, everyone says their favorite part of spring.
Well, that's timely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Sometimes I get it right, guys.
So are we doing this on three, or we're
just going to do it on three? Favorite part.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
Who's going to count? You want to count? This is yours. This is your card. So.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1?
It's up to you.
It don't matter.
Surprise us.
3, 2, 1, baseball.
Flowers.
What'd you say? Leaves?
I said flowers.
Flowers.
You said leaves on trees?
Leaves, yeah.
Baseball. Baseball's a good one.
Gotta be baseball.
Oh.
Clearly the most masculine guy here.
Yeah. Talk about leaves and flowers.
No, you guys are more confident in yours, so I love it.
I'm horrible at baseball, so I would never think about baseball. Horrible at it.
Same here. Short stay. What do you got, Ben?
All right. Hashtag abuse. Beast mode or please stop. Should there be a limit to fitness-related hashtags, or is Shredded Saturdays a national right? Man, I don't know. I think, like, within reason, there's can be like 4 or 5, but when there's a list of like 12 different ones, they just blur together and I can't read them. Like, I don't even click on them anymore.
Oh, sure.
So it's just to the point where it just gets overwhelming. I'm like, okay, cool. Another hashtag.
I get that. I use a lot of them. I will say I fall privy to that. I use a lot of them to get the algorithm boosted on Instagram, but
it's all about the algorithm. Always.
Well, I think you kind of, it's a necessary evil. the end of the day. But I used to do this. I don't do this so much anymore. I used to create stupid hashtags that were like that long, just for fun. Like, but
see if they would catch on.
Yeah,
create your own.
I just wanted to see.
Hashtag create your own.
I just wanted to see if anybody was reading them. And every once in a while, I get a comment about that hashtag's hilarious. I'm like, perfect. You read my hashtag. I don't know why I wanted you to do that, but all right. Do fair weather runners actually love running, or do they just love looking sporty in 70-degree weather? Oh, I can tell you that I'm a fair weather runner because I don't love the treadmill. No. And I hate the cold, and I also hate running with a shirt on.
Really?
Yeah.
I get that. I don't run. I'm not a runner. I will never run. Hurts my knees. Okay. But no, they want to look sporty.
Sporty.
They want to look sporty. It's for like 2 weeks out of the year, and then it's like, nah.
Yeah.
Back to the television.
Well, then it gets hot.
Yeah. And no one wants to run in the hot heat.
It's the fair weather, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Ben?
Probably fair weather. Like I'm not a big runner either.
Runners are catching shade, guys.
I need to.
We're trying to bring the runners into the fitness community. This is not going to help.
I know. Probably not.
Jeez.
But it's a necessity. You have to do some sort of cardio.
Sure.
You have to do it. Yeah. And I went running the other day, and it wasn't that bad. Like, I thought I was going to lose all my cardio since I run maybe once a quarter. But I didn't. So I think if you mix it with working out and your intensity while working out, you'll get enough cardio doing that.
That's true. So you are a fair weather runner. That's what I heard. Did you pick up on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fun.
Absolutely.
Anyway. Well, Joe, we're excited to get into your story. I'd like to hear a bit about what you're doing now, but let's talk about how you got into it first. So let everybody know what it is that you do, and let's go back in time a little bit to the Joe of yesteryear.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a start from kindergarten kind of guy, so we will ask questions when need be. So what I do is fascial stretch therapy. I worked with a guy in college when I played baseball. Trace Pate, great dude from Knoxville. He was a level 4, currently is a level 4, and a trainer at CAK High School. Worked with him in the off seasons, and once I found him, there was absolutely no going back. What really got me bought into FST was I just overtrained at the beginning of spring ball leading up to the season, and it had like a grade 3 pull or strain on my lat. Couldn't even get my arm above 90 degrees.
Oh, dang.
And did about 11 weeks of physical therapy with our athletic trainers. Nothing was working. Misdiagnosed. Nothing was working in the AT room. I tried to do my stuff on my own. Just could not seem to get this thing to go away. So I had to sit down with my coaches one day in the office and was like, listen, I need 2 hours in a weekend to go back to Knoxville, use my guy. And I promise if I'm not back in 2 weeks, then I will go back to PT and start doing it again. They're like, you know what, you're a bump on a log at practice, just holding a radar gun, completely understand, go do your thing. Drove in Saturday morning, worked with them Saturday afternoon, an hour on Sunday, drove back to school, got back on the mountain on Monday like I had never left.
No way.
Yeah, so, and it's really just all about relaxation and not really digging into things as much. It's a very, what's the word? It's a very outside of the box thinking method, but as soon as I found it, there was no going back.
Sure. I mean, why would you?
Yeah.
It works.
That's pretty amazing. Like you've turned that into, you've taken that, right? So did you go, I'm guessing you went right into becoming a practitioner, correct?
Funny enough, no.
Okay.
So
Tell
I
us,
go.
give me the evolution
Yeah,
here.
we're getting there. So found him like freshman, sophomore year of college, played out my career, had my COVID year, went back, played it out, moved to Nashville originally to do sales, and found out very quickly that it was not for me. I could not sit behind a desk for 8-9 hours a day and just look at a computer screen and run the rat race. I mean, that sounds terrible, but I just could not run the rat race. So it was a lot of tears, cried to my parents, a lot of phone calls about just hating it. And finally, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to call Mr. Trace and see if I can go out to the Stretch to Win Institute in Arizona, get certified and start my own thing. And it did not even last a 5-minute phone call. He was like, dude, I wanted you to do it. As soon as you got out of college, do your thing. So I went out to Arizona for my level 1, came back, trained with him for about a month, came back to Nashville and just hit the ground running. Walked into businesses, asked if they had, 5 to 10 minutes, which would always turn into like 30 or 45 minutes for a stretch. Get to talking. The yeses have been awesome. The no's were hard, but each no was closer to one yes.
Yeah.
Which is all I needed.
Right. So kind of got into sales too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I learned in my 2 months in the sales
absolutely.
role, I learned a lot on like how
You learned
to,
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm also social. I love to talk to people, and that's, Miss Ann would hate me saying this, and she will probably see it. I'm a very social butterfly, even with my clients, when it's supposed to be like relaxing and they're like sleeping and therapeutic. But like, honestly, either way works. Like, as long as they're relaxed and the conversation's kind of flowing and I'm learning, they're learning, it's always great.
We want to, towards the end of this podcast, we're going to get Joe to show Ben a couple of stretches because,
Oh man.
according to Ben,
2x4?
he's a 2x4.
Yeah, you actually said it. I didn't even say it, but yeah, I'm a 2x4,
I might have told him as
100%.
he's
I'm in
walking
pain right now.
You put that body through,
man.
through several tours.
Yeah,
So
so-
there's that.
But I do see the importance, right? Like stretching is just gonna like extend the longevity of your body, and it's gonna be able to enable you to do so many extra things. So doing it is the other hand. Like I just don't do it.
Yeah.
I know the importance of it, but I just don't do it. And I'm
what I'm here
sure
for.
you probably see that quite frequently.
Yeah. That's how I make my money, is people not doing it at home.
Yeah.
So like,
Perfect.
you're kind of my best friend.
Hey,
right
can I
now.
get your card?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, there's a couple of reasons why you want to have that. You want to have that mobility, right? Like, and we're letting you to point a couple out. I know from experience that blood flow is a really important thing. When your fascia is hydrated, then your large muscle mass is hydrated. So give some people some digestible science facts to kind of help them understand why this is important, and maybe look right at Ben.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I take notes?
Okay. Absolutely. Get your
Called
notes.
out.
I mean, there's just so much that goes into the study of fascia. And I mean, it's like ever growing right now. It's obviously it's not new. It's been a part of human and animals art like, for the entire existence of time. But it's really just starting to come to the surface. Like maybe we need to look at the fascia and not just the muscle. Hydration, you said it perfectly, is key. There was actually a video I shot on my Instagram about working with like collagen and peptides, and it being barely hydrated. I just needed enough to like make it look sticky and show when you're not hydrated enough that it's really sticky. So your joint capsules, everything like on the muscle insertions and everything are getting stuck versus really hydrated where it's just flowing. So being hydrated is a major, major part of fascial stretch therapy. I mean, there's multiple occasions with clients where they would lay down on the table, I'd put hands on them, and not even 2 minutes in, I'd be like, you gotta start working on your hydration.
Yeah.
They're like, how do you know that? I can't tell them how, like, it's just like an intuitive thing I have, but I was like, I can't tell you why I know, I just do.
Yeah.
So it's really important for hydration.
So if you're improving the mobility, right, and you're lengthening some fascia, assuming hydration is in play and we're in a good spot with it, what can people expect to see? Like what are some of the conditions you've helped with, or what has amazed you about this outside of your story?
So I've got 2 success stories that like it's my 2 favorites. So one is a girl that I see about 30 minutes a week. She was getting cortisone shots in her back every 6 months, could not beat this back pain. I was set up at title boxing one day, and she just walked up and she was like, "What are you doing and who are you?" I was like, "Give me 5 minutes." So she laid down on the table. We got going. The only time we have missed a session is when one of us is out of town. So like, and I've told her, I was like, I just need like 3 or 4 sessions and we're good. Like you just call me like if it ever flares up, or like if you get nervous that, a big workout's coming up or a competition, let's do it. She's not missed a week. So
That's incredible, yeah.
Yeah. And then one of my other success stories is one of my clients, a lot of different health issues, but her major one is neuropathy. And I've actually got one of the products that I use with her called the Rapid Release, which we can definitely get into later. Great stuff. But she like almost has no feeling in her feet. And after one stretch about 2 months ago, she came in, she was like, I cannot feel a thing on my foot and legs. It took an hour. We always do an hour. And she got off the table and she was like, I can feel my feet again.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how long does, like, obviously you have to be consistent with this, right? And it's not just a one-time thing.
Right.
How long can someone expect to see those results of feeling better or just being more mobile?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it kind of depends on the body. I mean, you guys know from being trainers and stuff, like training and body work and everything is not a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter type thing. So I've seen results in 30 minutes. I've seen them in an hour. I've seen them in 4 sessions. So it really just kind of depends on what your body wants and needs. So usually what I tell people is if you're dealing with something major, give me 3 or 4 sessions. And if we don't see any results by then, I've just not done my job. So then it's time to kind of outsource there, chiropractor, PT, OT. And like, I'm completely okay with that. As long as you're starting to feel better, I'm going to find the resources that you need. I hope I can be that guy, but if it's not me, it's got to be someone else.
To get in on that, actually, that's a question I had as far as like a holistic approach to this. Is in my tenure as a trainer doing restorative fitness, and restorative fitness is, people have called it a bunch of different things, but I'm what I would call it is advanced physical therapy. So I'm putting people through what I say is advanced physical therapy. I would use body weight and calisthenics style workouts to do that, and I would treat the entire body. So even if you've got a bad rotator cuff or your left knee's trashed, I'm treating the whole body no matter what. I found a lot of success teaming up what I did with self-myofascial release, which is in essence it's fascia work.
Yeah.
And with referring my clients to a chiropractor that I worked hand in hand with. And that was a game changer. Is that something that you've experienced too? Like, tell me a little bit about partnerships and anything like that you got going on.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the first thing I did when I got out here was try to connect with as many people as possible because I wanted to take the holistic approach. Yeah. So immediately found a concierge chiropractor who also works out of a gym here in Nashville, and then other physical therapists. I lived out in Lebanon for a while, so met some chiropractors out there, and then tried to connect with some people out here. And anytime that someone has come to see me and they're like, you're great, but I need a little bit more, I'm always like, here's the guy. Yeah. So yeah, building a team is like the number one thing that I've found.
I'm hard pressed to say that you were better at fascial release than I was if you didn't need the chiropractor.
Yeah, that's true.
But we'd have great success with like plantar fasciitis and rotator cuff and things like that. Most of those are obviously keyed in muscle issues, and they're not as scary. When someone has a bad back, like, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
And the last thing they want to do is go to what they think is, crack your back type of chiropractor.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
That was me.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to go to a chiropractor. It's going to hurt. They're going to twist me. I'm going to be in a pretzel and all this stuff. And it wasn't, right? And it just was not as, you build things up in your mind, right? And I think a lot with the FST is not a lot of people know about FST, right? It being an option, right? And what are the common like injuries you see or what you treat, traveling around, like just bad backs, like plantar fasciitis, like what's the commonalities that people, it's like, oh, I have her elbow. I should probably, maybe explore this option.
Right. I mean, totally like bad back. Again, being trainers, like I'm sure that's like what everyone comes in is like, my back hurts.
Yeah.
But then when we get in there, it's like your back hurts because your left foot is a little bit more supinated than your right. So you're not loading right. Mm-hmm. So it's trying to find, and the best analogy that I have for it, everyone watching this is probably from Nashville. You guys are from here, so you get it. I-40 traffic is the absolute worst.
Sure.
The worst.
Yep.
So the trigger point is, we'll just call it the airport, because I feel like after the airport, once you're on 40, is like you're cruising for the most part.
Home free.
Right.
Good, yeah.
So the trigger point is the airport, but we feel the pain of the traffic all the way here on Broadway, Demubrian, Church, like that's where you feel the traffic.
Yeah.
If I can find where to build more highways or release the highways over by the airport, then the traffic gets a lot better here in downtown Nashville.
That's fair. Yeah.
So that's the best analogy for how I treat it.
Yeah. It's kinetic chain, right? Like
Right.
It's find the root cause, treat the root cause.
Yep, absolutely. And it's like, I'm not going to get in there and in the first 5 seconds be like, this is the issue. I'm also like not here to diagnose, but
Sure.
for the most part, I can put hands on somebody and be like, I think this is what's going on. And then we'll do it. And they're like, why does my back feel better? You just pulled on my big toe. Well, it's because everything's connected. Fascia goes everywhere.
I've had that with people with psoas releases. Like you release a psoas and they're like, what? You can get to my back from my front? It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's really cool. And I feel like I kind of know the answer to this because we're obviously watching the industry all the time. But have you noticed a shift in this type of therapy in the industry specific? If so, like where are the hyper focused spots?
I mean, yeah, like, I feel like holistic medicine is kind of making its kickback. I mean, RFK being in office, not to like get political, but like he's all about holistic stuff. So I definitely see the shift of people wanting to not go, to a doctor therapy all the time. Cause I mean, like, especially with like the older crowd, they hate PT because for them, that's like the gym. They don't want to get in there and, get massive or swole or hurt or pain or anything. Like they're just old and fragile. Like they just want to feel good. So I think the shift of holistic medicine and different kind of niche practices like myself are definitely starting to make the come up.
Yeah, I agree. I see it a lot.
Here in Nashville for the 7th Country Music Marathon and Half Marathon. I think it says a lot about the city of Nashville, what it has to offer.
Locally with a good example is CrossFit, and I've talked about this before. You're starting to see like PTs in CrossFit, and they're working hand in hand, and they're improving the mobility, which is making these guys lift better. Yeah. Right. It's improving their pull ups. It's giving them really a true like athletic approach, right? Like treating them like an actual athlete that we all try to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The after hours.
Yeah.
So I've seen it, and I'm encouraged by it, honestly, because there was a lot of people needlessly getting surgery for a very long time. And I think that what you're doing is stopping that. So
trying to.
Yeah, and I know you're probably not allowed to say it, but I'll say it for you. Like you can avoid surgery, right? And you can avoid surgery oftentimes with just fascia work. And some stretching.
Absolutely. And I mean, like the girl that I see like 30 minutes a week, that was her idea exactly. She was like, I'm supposed to go in for a consultation for a back surgery in like 3 months. It took 5 minutes and she was like, where have you been?
Yeah.
Where have you been? So it's been really cool to like hear the personal side of the stories from my clients when I've actually like, I'm not like saving lives, but saving them from something that could potentially be long-term.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you kind of are.
Yeah.
One way or another. You've got, I think you and I talked a little bit on the phone not too long ago, and you are about to go back to school.
Yeah, so moving to Chesterfield, Missouri to go back to Logan Chiropractic, and like a lot of people are scared of the chiropractor. Like what you said, like a lot of people just are. It's very contortionist, if that's the word, if not 1.me. A lot of people are scared of it because it's a lot of loud noises, a lot of quick movements, but there are also a ton of people that love that stuff, not scared of it. I was one of those guys where I grew up with a chiropractor, and even when I found FST, I was still going to see my chiropractors. It's just to reach a broader array of people.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Help as many people as I can on the amount of time that I have on the earth. So
That's really, really cool.
So going back to school, what does that What's the additional knowledge, or what can you do now after you return, or are you returning?
You got to talk to the boss. The boss is my fiance.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
I'll
Makes
give you her
sense.
number. You can give her a call. We'll see what happens.
All right, ring her up.
Yep. Put her on live.
On line one, we have.
Yeah. And this is Alexa Rosenberg.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, yeah, just like, I don't know, just like learn all the knowledge that I can in the time that I have. I've always loved learning, and it wasn't until I got out here and realized that it was now on me that, like, 'cause I mean, I was in school 21, 22 years of my life. Like, that was just normal for me. Then I got out here, started Average Joe's, and it was like, wow, like, welcome to the real world, bud. So just like kind of taking the leap of faith and going back to school, just kind of blindly, was like, let's see what we can do.
Nice.
That's cool.
That'll be good. I think there's obviously not one thing that's going to fix everything, right?
Right.
And I think the willingness, going back to the holistic approach, is there's more willingness in this industry to explore other options, and knowing that just doing this is, not going to cut it, but I have to do this and this and that, right? And the hydration part is like, I think a common theme is a lot of people think they're hydrated, but they may not necessarily be, right? And what's a way that we can tell, individuals like, hey, here's a great sign that you're hydrated, or like, here's a standard that you need to meet. Anything above is great, right?
Right.
But this is the standard that we have to meet with regards to hydration.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, it's like, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like what is it, like 6 of these, or like what's like a baseline metric where people can now sit there and be like, wow, I'm not hydrated at all, but I feel okay, but I'm not
I feel
hydrated.
like for me, hydration is like brain fog. Like if I'm not hydrated, I just like can't get anything done. So for me, it's brain fog. I mean, it's, again, sorry to like get gross on this one, but like pea color.
I was going to go there, but I was just waiting for you to go there. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for throwing me under the bus there. No, I mean, pea color for sure. Like even in high school, like, I grew up in Maryville, like great football program. We had like a sign on there from Gatorade of like, if your pee is not this color, like get out of workout quicker. Like only do this, this, and this. And like our coach was super cool about it. He was like, if your pee looks like that, he was like, just cut it a little bit short because it's not going to do anything for you.
Yes, true. It's very true. Have you heard of this? Is a deviation. It's the P deviation.
All right, here we go. I'm glad I started this.
State-of-the-art stadiums now, their practice facilities have a hydration checker on the urinal. So these guys are using the restroom and they're getting a readout.
Wow.
Where can I get one of those?
I mean, I think that's pretty freaking dope.
That's awesome. Yeah. I need one of those just like you.
I would feel a little evasive if it was happening on number 2 as well. Keeping it just urine, I think we can work with that. But yeah, it's starting to happen in NFL stadiums and practice facilities now. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
One thing that I do like in the mornings, and I've been following Gary Brecka here for a while, but I love his like hydrogen bottle. I think that's great stuff. I don't have one yet, but definitely gonna look into it more. And then I actually saw something that Bryce Harper made like a couple weeks ago, and it's just like homemade Gatorade. So I've been using that in the morning for hydration, and all it is it's like half a lemon. So I squeeze that into a mason jar, fill it halfway up with like coconut water, fill the rest of it up with water to the top, and then like a little sprinkle of like Celtic salt, however you pronounce it. And I've been feeling awesome.
Well, yeah, you just structured your water.
Yeah.
Like you literally just put everything in there that is pretty close to what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Aside from sunlight, right? Like that's the key. I went down a water rabbit hole years ago, so don't get me started.
I love it.
I might know a tad bit more than anyone should know. Let's talk about how that translates though, because we did talk about hydration and muscle being hydrated, and it translates to physical ability. How does it give us more out of our muscle?
From the mobility aspect, I mean, water's ebb and flow. Same thing with fascia. Like fascia runs from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. When it has more water in there, it's easier to slide around. So, I mean, it sounds really basic. It should be more complicated, but that's really all I've got.
Well, I mean, that's what I figured you were going to say that, but what it means is it means less friction.
Right.
It means ease of movement. It means you may be able to recruit a little bit more of the larger muscle groups and with less strain on the fascia. which means less strain on the joint,
Totally.
right? Like we've got room. We don't have a compressed joint because you've got hydrated muscle, hydrated fascia, and hydrated body, and we've got room to move. And
You're making me thirsty.
That's
I gotta
magical.
Yeah.
get after it.
Would you need to drink the? Oh, of course, your water sounds like a special recipe.
Yeah, is that lemon in it? Does it have lemon in there?
This does have lemon in it, not the.
See, now I feel
Nice.
bad.
I know, right?
You should try some premium structured water from Defiance Fuel.
Yeah, I absolutely will.
It's wet water.
Is it? That's what one of the questions should be: is water wet?
Is water
Oh,
wet?
that'd be a good one.
We would never leave this room.
No.
I love that. But no, I actually made a video about it last week, and like, make drinking water fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it fun. Like I bought this Awala bottle last week because I was like, I'm not drinking enough water. Got a glass water bottle. Love that thing. I just like drinking out of glass.
Yeah.
Put lemon, lime, whatever else in it. Like just stay hydrated.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing to do is making drinking fun.
When you say making drinking fun,
Not
making
that
drinking
kind of
water
fun.
fun,
Make drinking water fun.
how much bourbon can I put in my water before it's canceled out?
And then it starts from hydration to dehydration.
This is where Joe's like, I said I was a fascia specialist, not a water specialist.
It's all in tandem. All in tandem.
Tandem. Oh, I love it. Well, like I know we're going to take a bit of a break here in a second, but when we do that, we're going to put Ben to the test with some stretches. Before we do that, talk about some like key root causes. Like we were talking about the analogy of traffic, kinetic chain, right? Put some pieces together for some folks with, if you can, for some things to look for as they're listening to this and they want to self-test. So let's start with knees. If you got a bad knee or you're feeling pain in your knee, where's the first place that somebody could start like releasing or working on stretching?
Look at your feet.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be the answer for most of the things that you ask. Always look at your feet.
Treat the feet and the body will fall.
Absolutely. Toe spreaders, my favorite thing. I wear them every single night, no matter, even if it's for like an hour. And like it took me a very long time to get my feet to spread out, but like I've never dealt with plantar fascia. I played basketball growing up, football, and then played collegiate baseball, but I always took care of my feet and never had major arm issues. Minor things here and there from like overtraining, but yeah, take care of the feet and the rest it just takes care of everything.
Well,
It's all connected.
You can't give me that easy of an answer because I can't talk to you about the back and now about the hands. that was too easy. All right. Well, I guess powerful. And I think you're 100% right. Treating the feet and the body will follow. But we're going to take a quick break. And after this break, Ben's going to get a stretch of a lifetime from the chair that he's sitting in.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Ben, you want to bring us back in from break?
Let's do this. I'm about to get stretched. I don't know how this is going to go, but I anticipate feeling better afterwards. So
Yeah.
it'll be good.
Joe, you're going to put him through some basic like sedentary, I work from an office or I drive a lot type of stretches.
Absolutely.
So talk us through what Ben's going to do, and I'm going to sit and watch with eager anticipation.
Yeah.
And
So you can do it
commentate.
with us too. Like
I could,
absolutely. So
But I'd much rather watch him.
so one of the major things that we see with like working from home or a lot of car time, window time is computer neck. And I mean, everyone's kind of privy to it. We're looking at phones, iPads, screens all day long. So the head sits really forward. The anatomy is not meant to sit forward. It's meant to be back here. So we'll go through this one. So what I want you to do is just cross your arms over your chest. And usually the pain is in the back. But what people don't think is to stretch the front. So it's just working the posterior chain. front or the anterior chain, but we're taking care of the posterior. So I just want you to kind of look up towards the sky and keep your mouth closed. And then find like a comfortable position, because to actually stretch fascia, you want it to relax. So you can kind of come out of it a little bit. And in FST, it's all about flow, finding and playing with some different angles. So then what I want you to do is keep it up here. Sorry, I should probably talk to the mic.
I told you that was going to be the challenge.
Ain't no problem. Ain't no problem.
Look at him.
So you're still looking up to the sky. I want you to look out to one side a little bit and then bring it back in. Take it to the other side, bring it back in. And then this is the best flow of the computer neck stretch, is keep the stretch right in the middle and then really slowly start to open and close your jaw. And what it's going to do is when you open it, take the tension off. And when you close it back up, it's going to put the tension on. And if you go through about 5 to 10 cycles of that, the fascia is going to start releasing in the front of your neck, taking care of your shoulders, your head, your neck.
I love that.
Yeah, I do it all the time when I have a lot of computer time. If I get headaches and stuff, immediately takes care of it.
Nice.
Yeah, I could feel the stretch on the anterior, right? Like as I was opening and closing my jaw, you could feel it really like tight right here.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to release like in my back, right? My
Yeah,
posterior.
and that's like another thing that we also learned out at class is kind of going back to like the releasing the highway, like on 40 and stuff, is people think that they're hurting here because it is hurt there. It's not. You got to find where it's at. So when you get it to ebb and flow, everything's going to open back up. So it's actually working the kinetic chain in reverse. So like back to knee problems too.
Yeah.
Whenever I do a lot of the knees over toe stuff, I'm trying to dunk for absolutely no reason at all.
I mean, you are built like a D1 athlete, so.
yeah.
I've never heard that before.
It tracks. I got you, bro.
Hey, preach. I'm definitely sending this to my buddies now.
They were like, "What's crap? He's sitting down." That's not
But no, like one of the major things is like if my knee feels like it's twinged up for the day or I'm just like tired, I always hit a reverse sled drag and I'll just do it for 10 minutes down and back, just backwards. Take care of the reverse of the chain.
Yeah.
And you're going to figure out how to do it forward.
That makes a lot of sense. Talking about drills for like improving mobility for like desk jobs, I've been practicing. I would say I'd like to be more regular at it, but like just laying on the bed or laying on the ground with a yoga block on my neck and just letting my head just relax straight back like that.
Yes.
And man, it will pull from your chin all the way almost to my navel.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible. Recommend, not recommend?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anytime that you can get away from a screen, or like I do it probably once or twice a week when I feel like my head's kind of sitting forward, is I'll watch TV upside down. And my fiance is like, "What are you doing?" Like, I just need to
and you just look at
throw it in reverse.
Say, mind your business.
Yeah.
How long do you do that for?
Whatever feels good. Again,
I
know that
like
sounds
that.
easy,
I like
but
that,
like
though.
if I say 5 minutes, everyone's going to do 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
But also like being your head thrown back like that, the blood is going to rush to your head. Whatever you feel like is going to release it, or when you feel that it's released, you're good.
Here's a question for you. My wife does this.
Okay.
Same stretch. That's just like that I do, hanging my head over the bed. And it makes her so dizzy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, I assume it would get better. I don't know if it is getting better, but what is there a reason for that? Just the muscles are so tight, we're clogging some arteries? Like, what's the deal?
I would say just like the position of it. Like my fiance is the same way. Like she'll get a little lightheaded and nauseous. Like when she does it like that, not so much for me. I'll do it for like 5 to 10 minutes, like laying in reverse. One for her, that computer neck stretch would be awesome. Just kind of doing the same thing of just like throwing it back, but the blood isn't just like coming everywhere, which being upside down, I could go down a whole rabbit hole of that, of why it's such a good reset. But yeah, I mean, if it hurts or if it's making you dizzy or something, you don't like it, don't do it.
Yeah.
If it feels good, it's probably right.
And my wife, if you're listening to this, you're still going to do it. So kind of fix that neck, kind of fix that back. No, I've noticed with just a few stretches that, and for her, it is very much how much time do I have to dedicate to this? because it starts to feel like too much.
Right.
Right. And I got to do this, and I got to do the split squat, and I got to work on my yoga, and I got to, don't even talk to me about rolling out. So doing them incrementally, but frequently, she's starting to see a lot of different, changes in her body with head, neck, and then the upper back, like that rounding of the back is starting to reset. So we're able to actually recruit more muscle, which is making her back look more muscular.
Love it.
And not even lifting more.
Right.
Like you could just actually see the definition a little bit.
Yeah, it's all about alignment. When you're aligned, it's game over.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's just things you don't think of,
No. But it makes sense. It makes too much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the consistency is the name of the game, right?
Always.
But I like the fact of, if I just had neck pain and just was doing that for 3 to 5 minutes, right? That in time will help it, right? And 3 to 5 minutes is nothing compared to the day. So I think a lot of people will see, well, no, this is going to take an hour. I have to do this, and they associate it with working out or whatnot. But it's a really quick, to get in and get done, and you see the benefits.
Yeah.
Right. It's a time efficient way to start feeling better.
Right.
And then when you start feeling better, you'll be able to lift heavier weights. And it's just it's a ongoing. It builds and builds and builds.
Right.
So I love it. I like that. This is great.
Yeah. When I was actually working corporate America, I would try to get every hour on the hour, stand up, walk around, hit a quick neck stretch, so that that starts to, that's 8 minutes in an entire day. That's more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it, again, like you said, consistency kills. If you just do it 1 minute at a time every hour, you're just going to take care of everything.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Well, tell everybody how they can get your services while you're still here in town, because you're here for how much longer?
I think I leave the first or second week of May, so about a month and a half-ish.
So you got some time for some clients. Where can they find you, or do you travel?
So I travel, all mobile. I'll come right to you. If you're not cool with that, then I've got a place where we can go, and we'll just set up the table and get to know each other and get it done.
Stretch it out.
Oh yeah.
You said about an hour, right? Normal.
Yeah, anywhere from I have a lot of people that do 30 minutes, more do an hour. I can do probably up to an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's getting like a lot of really good work in. But yeah, usually hours about the standard.
Been meaning to ask this. It's been on my mind.
Okay.
Is it painful? Because touching my toes is painful for me. But sitting there, when you, put hands on someone and stretch them and work through their fascia, is it painful?
Not what I do.
There you go.
Everyone has always thought.
Say no more.
Yeah. Everyone has always thought and been taught pain is gain.
Yeah.
Totally get that. Keep it at the gym.
Yeah.
Stretching should not be painful.
I agree. Yeah.
Because if it's painful, the fascia is going to start freaking out. And when you feel like it's released, it's kind of like getting a massage. Don't get me wrong. Love massages. I get one about once a month. But when things are dug into and start to hurt, the fascia is going to freak out and try to protect and hold on. In FST, it's all about relaxation. So things can open up, be hydrated, and then get right back to where they need to be, balanced.
I love that.
Yeah.
There you go, Ben.
There you go. I have no reason not to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
Well, when you got your introductory stretch,
Yeah, I did. I'm going to be driving home today, be like,
was it painful?
no, it was actually, it felt, I could see, it was tense, right? And that just tells me that, A, I'm unflexible, and B, I need to do it more.
yeah. And stretching has been so misconstrued to be like, again, the pain is gain thing. Even when you're stretching at home, and it doesn't have to be any of the stretches that I post on my Instagram either. Like it can be anything, the 90-90 hip stretch, hanging from a bar. Just don't let it hurt, because if it hurts, it's going to freak out. It's going to hold on to that tension. So if you can make stretching relaxing, you're going to find benefits, no matter if you're doing FST, chiropractics, or doing it by yourself at home.
I think we need to elaborate on this a little bit.
Okay.
Because people with a high pain tolerance, will say, oftentimes they don't feel even the pain that's a good warning sign, pain. But then there are people that just straight out the gates, this is uncomfortable, I don't want to do it. So let's get in the middle here. So for the person with the high pain tolerance, what are they looking out for?
Meaning what?
What's a stretching pain and what's a tearing pain? I used to say heat. Like if you feel heat,
Right.
then let's back up.
Oh yeah. That's getting into nerves.
Yes.
Yeah. don't want that.
Don't want
so
that.
here's here, and especially for the people at home, here's what FST is, and I want you guys to do it too. So take your finger, and I just want you, and this is what normal stretching would be, but just bend your finger backwards. I just want you to take note of kind of where it's at mobility-wise, right? Kind of maybe feels nervy, really stretchy. You might even feel some heat coming off of it, right?
Yeah.
Now what I want you to do is kind of oscillate it a little bit. And then we call this traction, but just like barely pull it out of the joint. Not even that hard,
Yeah,
just a little bit.
I went in hard. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't go in hard. Pause. And then just take it back a little bit and feel and look and see how much further your finger is back.
Way further.
Yeah. So it's just kind of getting everything out of the joint capsule so that everything can flow.
So, no heat.
No heat. No heat.
Okay. Now, what if there's a person that gets right into it? They automatically feel, I would say, pain in parentheses, because
Right.
oftentimes you got lower pain tolerance. They need to sit down, stretch for a second.
Right.
So, how would someone who's like that? How would they approach that? Like,
Again, find what's comfortable. Like if going here for someone with like very little pain tolerance, if that's where they start to feel heat or too much of a stretch, come to right there. It's fine. And most of the time, some people are like, I don't even feel like we're stretching. And then I get back to their leg alignment and it's perfect.
yeah,
Or I'll be like, all right, now you let's see where you're at. Like one of the tests that we've already done, and they can move it so much better. It's all about relaxation.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So, there literally is something for everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, even if it's just sitting in a stretch that's just, comfortable yet accessible.
Yeah.
You encourage that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because if you go, so there's like R1 or resistance 1 is you're like in the stretch. You can definitely ebb and flow, find some different angles, play with it. R2 is where you really start to like get into it. That's kind of where my happy place is that middle of, it's like R1.5 is I kind of like play right in there. And then R3 is kind of where it's like getting in the nerves way too much. That's when you want to come out of it. You want to play kind of in that 1.5 to 2 range.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's good. I like that because I would stretch, but I'd feel like I wasn't doing anything unless I felt that muscle stretch, which would turn into muscle pain.
Right.
Right. And so I think a lot of people will do that is they'll stretch until they feel pain.
Right.
And then if they don't feel pain, then they're not stretching.
Right.
And that was my mentality for the longest time. But I like your philosophy and I like the science behind it is like get to that point where you're like you feel it, but then maybe like feel the stretch, feel the pain a little bit, but back off like a half. Right?
Totally.
And then you're still knowing that you're still getting some sort of benefit.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like in the gym, like, let's just say you're doing squat and it's like 3x5. You like have all your working sets. You get up there, you're on your last set of 5 squats. You get to number 4. And in your head, you're like, if I do number 5, like I'm going to be so out of alignment. Any good trainer would be like, let's just not do number 5 then.
Yeah.
Like you're fine. You just hit it all. Like there's no reason to try to push it if the form is going to be terrible.
No, that's a solid point. I think that a lot of times we just like to kill ourselves in everything we do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Even stretching.
No pain, no gain,
so
right?
Chill this stretch.
Yep. Everyone's like no pain, no gain.
Yeah. So it's kind of just like, and that's what I've kind of taken on like my social media platform is let's flip the script because we've been taught this, but now that all this fascial research is out, it's the complete opposite.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Well, as we are landing this plane, we like to leave the guest a chance to talk about leave everybody with one more thing. So talk to that person out there who is like Ben 2x4.
Yeah.
And maybe they have some fear about getting in contact with you, but also let everybody know where they can find you and how they can follow you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my number is 865-719-0772. Follow me on Instagram or TikTok, Average Joe Stretching. Seriously, give me a call anytime. I love to talk about this stuff. One of my cousins, who's like one of my clients, she's called me multiple times and she's like, how much do I owe you for like an online consultation? I'm like, stop. I'm fine. I love this stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So give me a call, text or DM anytime. Would love to learn more.
Cool. Well, there you go. Ben, you got any last questions?
You said something about your Instagram. You post videos on how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so people can go in there and kind of look what you're all about, like see what type of stretches to do, and then find something, and then give you a call and like, hey, I want to kind of, finalize or work more, targeted at this specific spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. So I honestly don't post many videos just because of like patient or like client confidentiality.
Yeah.
Like if they don't want me to post it, I'm not going to post it. If they would like to post, I'm all good for it, which is kind of what Average Joe's was based off of. But my Instagram is really just like a lot of at-home stuff that you can do. And like, I wouldn't say terminology, but like the theory of let's flip the script and let me show you how to do even your own stretches at home, but the right way.
There you go.
Impressive. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, no, I love this.
Yeah, I could get into the weeds with you on things, but I won't do that.
When's part 2?
We'll do that after. We'll call it after the show. We appreciate you being here, Joe. It's been great to get to know you, and I'm excited to see where your career goes, especially after chiropractic school. So I hope you come back.
I hope I do too. Yeah. I hope Nashville is end all be all. I love it.
They would love to have you back. So, guys, make sure you go check out everything Joe's got going on. Give Ben a follow as well. We've appreciated you tuning in today for the NFM podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with a friend. And if you know somebody who's going through some pain, and reach out to Joe and take care of you. So until the next time, we will see you again. I don't actually see them.